We're all here, Naruto proclaims as he and the rest of his team get ready to go and reclaim their friends from Hades. Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Don Weeb here, back with another part for, if you guys were just here in the last premiere, What If Naruto Was a Demigod, Part 8, and also the finale for the What If Naruto Was a Demigod series for this part. If you guys are ready for what's going to happen in this What If, I hope you guys enjoy, as well as there's going to be a part coming out right after this finale for What If Naruto, for all of since this is the end of part 1, for the end of the part 1 of Naruto where he's a kid, and I'll be having a special episode that'll cover the 3-year gap between Shippuden and Naruto, and what goes on in there is I have some custom stuff that I've written for that, which will be its own series, in between Naruto, so I'm calling that the middle of Naruto, kind of. So if you guys want to watch that, then I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and I'm going to continue making it. Shippuden's going to be crazy. There's going to be some really cool, interesting stuff that happens. I hope you guys support this What If with everything you've got. Make sure to join the Discord server, like, and comment, and I hope everyone's happy with me. We hit 1,000 subscribers yesterday, and it's just going great. So thank you guys so much, and let's get right into the What If. Naruto says we're ready, as he and his team stand tall. Him, Neji Hyuga, as well as Jiraiya, Kakashi, and everyone from the original Sasuke retrieval arc is there. As they were low on Jonin, they only have Jiraiya and Kakashi, but they think that'll cover it. As the rest of the Genin swallow their pride as well as their fear, they then follow Naruto, as Naruto believes he knows where this is talking about. Jiraiya understands as well and says that they have to head towards the Sand Village. At this point, for the next 3 days, Naruto then charges up with lightning release and activates it, causing him to run faster. The rest of the entire team try to keep up as best as they can and tell him to slow down. Naruto doesn't have time and says that if they won't speed up, then he'll have to bring them with him. He then uses wind release and falls behind for a bit. At this point, he makes 5 different lightning clones who all pick up all of their team. At this point, he then says that this is too slow. They have a day left. He asks Jiraiya if he thinks that he'll be able to recover his chakra on the way. Jiraiya doesn't understand what he's meaning until at that point Naruto forms a summoning jutsu. He summons the blue dragon Tempest and asks him if he can take them over to the Sand Village. There's somewhere they need to be in order to save their friends. Tempest agrees and tells everyone to hop on. The entire team jump on top of Naruto's dragon as they fly towards the Sand Village, way faster on pace than they ever would have made it before. At this point, we zoom down to the underworld. As the red and darkness begin to fill the entire screen, you can see that Hades is impatiently waiting in his throne for his last sacrifice before he can finally bring Persephone back to him. Demeter, that damn goddess, had stolen her and taken her back to the heavenly realms from him by breaking his deal. At that point, now he had to get his revenge, so he was going to permanently summon her down there and use his chakra in order to make her summon of his. But in order to do that, he needed the power of other gods, and he knew they weren't agree with his plan, as they were always antagonizing him and forcing him to be the bad guy. He's annoyed as he's waiting for his big older brother Zeus's son to come and try and save his friends, which he would inevitably be defeated by the god. At that point, Naruto on his dragon continues to fly towards the Sand Village. As they finally near the cave entrance, they all jump down and begin to walk through the desert. As they finally make it towards the entrance of the cave, the Akatsuki are in there actually. Obito as well as Zetsu sense this and quickly use Kamui to escape. At this point, Kakashi senses something weird when a weird disappearance of chakra and thinks it might be Hades. At this point, they run inside and they see that the Geto statue is there, which then slowly begins to warp and disappear. Kakashi thinks about this for a second, but then decides that it's no big deal. The rest of the team then jump in, as they see inside the middle, underneath the statue where the Geto statue had been waiting, there lied a dark portal. In this portal of inky black and murk, Sasuke is waiting for him. Naruto then steps forward and says that he'll go first. Everyone tells him no, and Jiraiya puts a hand on his shoulder, telling him it's his responsibility. Naruto looks back at his master, Jiraiya, as well as Kakashi, and tells him that his bond with Sasuke, he won't let it be broken by anyone, nor of Blaze, and he has to save his friends, and he has to save Granny too, so she can become the Hokage and keep through of her word, just like she said. At this point, Naruto takes a step into the darkness and begins to sink through. He then tells them that he'll come back through the portal if nothing goes wrong. At this point, he begins to sink through the portal, and he activates his scythe, pulling it out and beginning to spin it longer and longer, flowing his chakra through it to make it stronger. He sits with his scythe as he enters the dark portal, as his friends see him enter. A few minutes later, they're all waiting, sitting on the ground, sweating. At this point, they then see something rising from the pit. At this point, a golden scythe sticks out of the ground, and they all jump down. The entire team sinks through the floor, and they see Naruto standing there holding the scythe above his head. The scythe, he had actually thrown it through the portals, and it was sinking back down again. As it falls, he grabs it out of the air and tells them that they're going to need some help to get back up there with probably shadow clones or some clone of some kind. They all agree as they walk into the environment and take in what's going on. Souls are everywhere. As they walk around the area, they then can see shinobi from across the entire nations as they're slowly filing in line, as well as people from everywhere, people dying every day, just re-entering the line into the holy undead for their afterlives. As Naruto and his team push through, they then see the front gate, the dark obsidian abyss of the gate into Hades' kingdom. At this point, Naruto then says they don't have time to ring the doorbell. He pulls his scythe back into a mighty axe swing and slices his blade down with full strength. At this point, a thin slice of air begins to push out of his scythe, and the entire gate slices in half, opening. The souls who are there are disgusted as well as amazed at this power, and Naruto stands up in his full glory. Lightning begins to course across his body, unknown to Naruto. As Naruto walks through the gate, he seals his fate and what's going to happen to his friends. Kakashi, Jiraiya, and the rest of his team continue to walk through. Choji and Shikamaru are distracted by what's going on, and Shikamaru says this is crazy. If there really is an underworld or an afterlife, then this is ridiculous. Shikamaru is analyzing everything, and his brain just can't handle what's going on. He thinks it's such a drag that this is what the actual afterlife looks like when you die. At this point, they finally get to him. As Naruto nears, he hears a growling sound. Naruto and Kakashi, and as well as the whole team, look up, and there stands Cerberus, the three-headed dog. Kakashi looks up and then realizes something. This is a dog. He summons his dog using his dog summoning jutsu, and his hounds appear. The ninja hounds appear, and they begin to play with Cerberus and distract him. Kakashi then decides that this would make an excellent summon, and begins to form the contract with Cerberus. He breaks the contract that Cerberus has with Hades, and then forms a contract of his own, using Naruto's scythe to cut out Hades, which for some reason works unknown to them. At this point, he then has Cerberus as his own summon, and Kakashi's impressed with this. He then desummons Cerberus as he goes back to where Cerberus came from, deep in Tartarus. At this point, Naruto continues to walk forward, along with his team. Kakashi's waiting behind, though, as he has to make sure that the summoning jutsu is working and everything's going right. Hades feels a sudden chain link inside of him break as Cerberus is gone. He thinks that Naruto must have killed his dog, and this pisses him off more as he grinds the top of his sea with his hand, crushing it. At this point, his eyes begin to turn red as souls of the dead begin to erupt around him. He calms down after his advisor instructs him, and they all go back into the ground. At this point, a loud crashing sound is heard through the entire hall. Boom, boom, boom. As Naruto walks, a loud booming sound that can be heard across the entire hallway. Naruto then kicks the door open, and with a loud squeaking and cracking sound, the old mahogany wood cracks open. Naruto walks in the front and center with Jiraiya at his side, as well as the rest of his team. Electricity begins to flow across the entirety of him, and his normal blue electricity begins to change as he sees Hades, causing his hand to grip around his scythe tighter than it ever had before. At this point, electricity unknown to him begins to form around his body. Golden light begins to form around Naruto as his hair begins to lift slightly, as well as his eyes become a more piercing, deeper blue. Unknown to him, he's just combined his mortal chakra and immortal chakra, as well as something else is beginning to emerge from deep within him. He then asks Hades where his friends are. Hades then laughs and points, and there, as the light begins to emerge from the ceiling as the dark sun holding above the entire nether realm, he sees his friends laying in a pool of blood. Naruto then says, "What did you do to them?" "Hades!" as he rushes forward with his scythe and then slices at the man, who he knows now to be the man called Hades. And then at this point, he keeps slashing with his scythe faster and faster, blitzing towards Hades. Hades laughs and blocks with his own weapon. He pulls his helmet out and headbutts the scythe, causing it to vibrate, and Naruto's hands causing his teeth to jitter. At this point, Naruto then pushes all his chakra into his body. His body begins to have a golden glow emanating all around it. Jiraiya is shocked and begins to help Naruto in the battle. Naruto with his scythe pierced against Hades' hand, then tells Jiraiya to save his friends. Jiraiya and the rest of the team then rush towards Sasuke and their other sacrifices. They pick up them, and as they run away, Hades screams no, and skeletons of the undead begin to rise. The entire team forms into formation, and just as they're beginning to get overwhelmed, Jiraiya then fights harder than he ever had before. Rasengan! He throws his Rasengan into the army of the undead, crushing almost 100 soldiers. Neji Hyuga begins to use his spinning techniques as well as the 32 strike palm, as well as Shikamaru using the shadow possession jutsu to make them fight each other. Everyone's doing marvelous, and Naruto's no exception. Naruto's head deep in a battle of Hades. Hades then headbutts Naruto with his helmet on, causing Naruto to feel fear coursing throughout his entire body of none he'd never felt before. At this point, as he's falling into the darkness, then he sees a hand. Outstretched toward him is Sasuke Uchiha, the one who had always been superior to him in his eyes, who he had to catch up to, his friend, Sasuke. He won't let him down. He won't let this bond of theirs. A string forms between their hands, and as it begins to shatter, Naruto uses his other hand and grasps it, forcing electricity through it to force them to become one again. At this point, Sasuke and his mind and Naruto become one and merge together. Now, at this point, Hades is getting overpowered, and the electricity begins to course through Naruto, turning more and more golden as blue and the golden light begin to mix. At this point, his scythe is beginning to become overloaded with chakra, and as it does so, it begins to turn even more gold and shining. Then, Naruto unlocks it. For the first time in his life, he's become so angry and full of rage. He hasn't had the power to save his friends. He doesn't have the power to do anything. He needs it. At that point, the Kyuubi, who's been sleeping this entire time, is finally awakened. Kurama awakens with his full might, and after not having to help for so long due to Naruto's competence, he decides he'll give Naruto more chakra than he thinks he probably needs. He gives chakra enough to Naruto to the point where he unlocks the two-tailed state. As Naruto begins to grow in chakra from the Kyuubi, he then realizes that his immortal chakra, which he now seems to realize is similar to Hades, and his mortal chakra are being mixed in again with a third chakra, the animalistic chakra of the tailed beast. Hades' eyes open wider as he sees what's going on, and he screams in pain as the Kyuubi begins to overflow all of Naruto. Naruto's hair begins to grow jet black spikes in between the gold and blue electricity flowing through him. He then pushes harder as his veins begin to pop out of his arms, as Naruto screams in an animalistic voice that he's never had before, a loud booming voice of thunder and crashing. He then summons, with all of his strength, a lightning bolt. He forces his scythe forward and pushes all the lightning release he can into it, causing that same power that he had formed against Itachi Uchiha and Kisame from the last battle a few weeks ago to form. He then screams, "Ion Sphere! Lightning Bolt!" He then shoots a lightning bolt forward at Hades. Hades takes the full impact of the blow, and as he shivers on the ground, jolting and shivering, he begins to scream in pain. Naruto then stands up, breathing in and out heavily. At this point, he then hears laughing. Hades begins to laugh vigorously, and he just keeps laughing and laughing. He stands up, looks at his nephew, and then says, "Is that all you've got, nephew?" Naruto's eyes open wide as Hades then socks Naruto across the face, causing him to fly into the wall. Jiraiya and the rest of the team scream Naruto, and Naruto falls into a dark sleep. At this point, he then sees the Kyuubi. He then asks, he needs more chakra from him. The Kyuubi says, for this one time alone, he's going to work with him, but there's a deal he has to follow. The Kyuubi then says if he releases him from this cage, then he'll allow him to use his chakra fully and won't disturb him, as he's proven that he's strong enough. Kurama in this timeline has seen all of the endeavors Naruto had done with his own power, and he understands that Naruto, if he had this ability, would definitely be able to win against Hades. He'll only give it to him this one time, however. Naruto, using his scythe that he still has in his dream, is able to cut through the seal of the fourth Hokage, his father, who had known that with an immortal weapon he would be able to. He slices through it, and as the cage opens, the Kyuubi smiles and tells Naruto that he thanks him for being there and for him taking such good care of his body, as well as knowing that he was always strong enough to protect both of them. Then, the Kyuubi fills Naruto, and in the background, Minato, or Zeus in this timeline, says he'll lend him some of his power as well. A lightning bolt of brighter and more maximum power than you could ever have seen before flows into the underworld and hits Naruto at the same time. At this point, Naruto is then in KCM 1 mode. As KCM 1 mode it completely goes over Naruto, his skin and face turn golden, and he has the same markings on his chest as well. This time a few lightning bolts are intertwined, and the Kyuubi chakra form begins to change. As the KCM form begins to change into a darker blue from the electricity coursing through all over his body, Naruto's muscles begin to scream in pain, as he's never had this much power in his body before. He then knows he can't keep up this power for long, and then he activates Eagle Eye in both of his eyes, raising his strength even higher. At this point, he then tells him, "Hades, I don't care what you do, I don't care where you go, but it's over now. I won't let you." He then teleports forward faster than Hades could even see. "Hurt my friends." At this point, Naruto summons the Ion Sphere, and as Hades summons the darkness in his right hand, creating a black hole, Naruto then uses the Ion Sphere and creates his own. Black hole, lightning style. Hades slams his dark sphere into Naruto's attack, and as they clash, a bright light begins to fall over the entire underworld. Hades and Naruto stand side by side looking at each other, and Naruto tells him that it's been a long time and that he understands what's going on now. Hades looks at him and asks if his nephew truly knows what's happening. Naruto looks up and tells him that his dad is your brother, correct? Hades nods and says that his father's name is Zeus and that he's the god of the skies. Naruto smiles and looks at him and tells him that he'd always known, that somewhere deep inside of him, he'd always felt that the sky was the one place where he could be free. The birds were something that he would always look to, and just as he does so, he then, in the dream, begins to morph into a bird. As he flies away and Hades sinks into an ebb of darkness as it turns into light. Hades' complete corporeal form and entire energy is then forced out of the underworld, as Hades' dark form is then completely stripped of him. Hades' chakra and dark negative emotions are completely pulled out of him as his body falls to the ground. As Naruto can kill an actual god, he then suddenly knows that Hades is gone. Hades' actual mental state, as well as his form, has been sent to the heavenly realms, where he's now being judged by the other gods for his actions he's taken on Earth. At this point, Naruto stands over Hades' body and then deactivates his scythe, as the rest of the energy from the Kyuubi begins to wear down, and the Kyuubi goes back into its seal. Naruto then reseals it with the last of his strength as his godly power begins to flow and fade. All the skeletons of the rest of the team, including Jiraiya, we're facing now disappear and turn to dust. The entire underworld begins to change in some sort of way, and unknown to Naruto, Persephone would come back. After his team leaves and Sasuke as well as the rest of Blaze as well as the rest of the demigods are finally freed back to the real world. As they climb up and climb through the portal, they then wave as Naruto turns around and sees his mom. His mom Kushina as well as the lady Amaterasu Shinso are watching him with pride, and Kushina tells him that she's so proud of him and that his father is watching over him every day. She then kisses Naruto on the forehead as Naruto sees her form disappear into light. Naruto climbs up through the dark portal into the real world, and as he gets there, he then looks to his friends and thanks them for everything they've done for him. Jiraiya smiles and laughs and tells him that that's what bonds are for, and that's what it means to be a ninja. Naruto then takes a break for a few weeks. Naruto goes and lays down in his bed, and he just relaxes and thinks about what happened in that battle. At that point, he then sees Sasuke come into the room, and he laughs as he looks at Naruto and asks what's going on. Naruto smiles and tells Sasuke that it all worked out, right? Sasuke smiles and nods, and then says that if he hadn't come to save him, he probably would have been killed. Sasuke then frowns and thinks about this. Sasuke then looks at Naruto and says that he wants to ask him something. Naruto walks off Sasuke, and Sasuke says that they need to leave the village for a little bit. Naruto asks why, and Sasuke says it's just important. Come with me. Later that night, both Sasuke and Naruto leave the village. As they walk for hours and hours, Kakashi notices that the two are gone, as well as Jiraiya, and he wonders where they're going. Knowing Naruto, though, they'll be back soon. At this point, Sasuke and Naruto begin to reach the final valley. As we know, at this point, Sasuke still has the curse mark from Orochimaru, and he has felt the desire to go to him. After Naruto saved him, though, and he'd seen the power that Naruto had gained, as well as the power that was just right next to them in their front door, he was considering if he should actually go to Orochimaru's or not. But this was the final test. He needed to know Was Naruto stronger than him? Could he have stopped Hades if he just tried a little harder? If he'd worked on his Sharingan, if he'd worked harder, would he have been able to beat Hades? Would he have been able to beat his brother Itachi? As Naruto then stands on top of Hashirama Senju's statue and Sasuke stands on Madara Uchiha's statue, they then look at each other across the final valley. Sasuke tells Naruto he knows what he's been through and that it's time for them to finish this at last. Sasuke then dives at Naruto and tells him, "If you can beat me, Naruto, I won't leave the village. If you can win, I will not go to the Sound Village to obtain power to defeat Itachi. However, if you lose," he looks at Naruto, "I won't see you again, and you can consider our bond permanently broken." Naruto then looks at him and his veins begin to pop. He then tells Sasuke as he blocks his attack that he thinks that he went through all the trouble of saving him from Hades just to let him be taken by Orochimaru. He doesn't think so. He then grabs Sasuke's arm and throws him into the pool of water down below. At this point, Sasuke begins to fall underneath the water, and he thinks about what happened during the Hades battle and how useless he was. Useless. 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 And a vision of Sakura pops into his head. Useless. Useless. Sasuke then activates his Sharingan at 3 Tomoe, and blood begins to actually pour inside of him. As he then recalls what Hades had told him, he was a descendant of Madara Uchiha, the son of Hades. At this point, Sasuke then gets out of the water, and he then lets the rage fuel him as it never had before. Hades, back in the underworld of his wife Persephone, happy now that Demeter has finally returned what is mine to him, senses something happening in the mortal world and can see Sasuke Uchiha summoning his power. He laughs and says, "Why not? I owe that kid, that damn demigod, a good beating anyway." Sasuke then receives it all at once. Naruto senses this and is worried. Is Hades causing trouble again? Then, remembering that he had been judged by the gods, no, he shouldn't think that this is some god intervening in the power of the mortal world. This is Sasuke. Sasuke's revolution against him and the Leaf Village to prove to himself that he's a strong shinobi. He dives at Sasuke and screams, "Sasuke!" Sasuke screams, "Naruto!" and activates his Chidori. At this point, then Naruto activates his Ion Sphere and they clash. The Chidori and Ion Sphere clash together as he enters his third curse mark state, combined with Hades' chakra against Naruto, who's severely weakened after the battle that took him a lot out of him. Naruto is in the one-tailed Kyuubi state at this point, relying on both Eagle Eyes as well. As he pushes forward with his Ion Sphere against this Sasuke, he pushes harder than he ever had before, and Sasuke and him both go flying back into the walls of the final valley. At this point, Sasuke is crying and is laying on the ground, pounding his fist into it. He looks up at Naruto, who's standing there with his eagle eye, that damn dojutsu. He looks down at Sasuke and reaches a hand to him. Sasuke reaches up and then slaps Naruto's hand out of his face. As he looks up, he then feels an intense rage that he had never felt before, as the godly chakra inside of him begins to reawaken a power that Itachi never thought he would have at such a young age. At this point, Sasuke looks up, and deep into Naruto's eyes, Naruto is shocked as there stands Sasuke Uchiha, wielding the Mangekyo Sharingan. As Sasuke wields the Mangekyo Sharingan, he then activates the Amaterasu, using his own type of power. He then activates against Naruto. As the Amaterasu is about to burn against Naruto alive, he feels something warm inside of him. He feels his mother's chakra. He then realizes that his mom, Kushina Uzumaki, might have actually been related to Lady Amaterasu herself. He deactivates the Amaterasu with ease, and then Sasuke and him get back into the fight. Now Sasuke is proving a far greater challenge to him, and he's considering using his scythe. As he pulls it out, Sasuke throws a kunai at his hand, pushing it out of his hand. Sasuke and Naruto begin to fight harder than they ever could before. Clash for clash, power for power, jutsu for jutsu. Sasuke then activates with all of his immortal chakra that Hades has lended him left. He activates the Susanoo against Naruto. Naruto then pulls all of his immortal chakra that he's recovered after the short amount of time that he has had time to rest, and pushes it into himself, forming the lightning armor around his body. Sasuke and Naruto form one last Rasengan for Naruto and one last Chidori in Sasuke's hand. As they fly towards each other, Naruto and Sasuke look each other in the eyes, and Naruto thinks about all that he's sacrificed for Sasuke, everything he's done for him. how close they were as friends and how they were going to keep getting stronger together. Sasuke, who has the third curse mark, the Mangekyo Sharingan activated, is losing chakra fast. He's pushing more energy into the Chidori than he ever had before, and at this point, someone saves him. There he is, Orochimaru, who sensed the power coming out of the chakra of this field, then finally rushes in with all Sound 4 as well as Kimimaru. They see Naruto there and they have to take him out to retrieve Sasuke. He sees Sasuke has unlocked his Mangekyo Sharingan and is even more excited. They then reach into battle as Orochimaru as well as all the Sound 4 ninja plus Kimimaru against Naruto's Rasengan. Naruto's shocked as he sees all of them fighting with Sasuke to push him away. At this point, Naruto screams no as the Chidori and Rasengan clash along with the power boosted to Sasuke from his future master. Orochimaru laughs and cackles with glee as Sasuke knows that this battle is over. As Naruto is enveloped in the entire attack, he's then blasted out of the final valley into the sky. Naruto is completely knocked out as he lands in a forest, and a few villagers find him and pick him up. There he lands in a certain unknown place where he doesn't know where he is compared to Leaf Village anymore. Sasuke Uchiha then leaves with Orochimaru and the rest of the Sound Ninja as he looks back one last time and thanks Naruto for saving him and that he's going to avenge him as well as defeat Itachi with this power that he's helped him given. Naruto wakes up a few minutes later and as he looks there, he looks around to see, he sees other people in some strange sort of jungle. As he walks around, gets up, they then tell him to lay back down and that he just came out of the sky and that he was marvelously injured. There was a hole in his chest. It seems to have fixed itself though, strangely. He then realizes that these people don't have chakra. As he looks around, he realizes that this is a normal village and they're not ninja. He then passes back out into sleep and thinks about his battle of Sasuke and Hades. He thinks about Jiraiya and all the people he just failed by not saving Sasuke. Damn it. Naruto wakes up after a few days and finally gets back to the Leaf Village. Kakashi and Jiraiya are waiting, and when Sasuke isn't there, Naruto just cries. He tells them everything that happened with Hades' chakra fueling him, as well as Sasuke going with Orochimaru and being helped by him. We see Sasuke's point of view as Sasuke tells Naruto in his head that he's sorry, but he needs this power. He knows that Naruto would have beaten him without the strength of the others that had helped him. He then tightens his fists together as he realizes that, again, he couldn't sever the bonds that he needed in order to win. He couldn't win alone. He looks and he grits his teeth thinking, Naruto, next time we meet, Naruto and Sasuke both think this at the same time. I'll win, fair and square, for sure. If you guys like this What If and want to see What If Naruto was a Demigod Shippuden, as well as my other small miniature series between Shippuden and Naruto, for the Naruto training with Jiraiya, then make sure to hit the like button, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the What If. This is a pretty long part, and thank you guys so much for hitting 1,000 subscribers. Make sure to join the Discord server, and I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. It's black and white.